He was only 20 when he became a king. By 30, he ruled over an empire that stretched from Greece to India. But Alexander the Great didn't just conquer nations. He conquered fear, doubt, weakness. Before he ever stepped foot on a battlefield, he won a war inside his own mind. Today, we explore the mindset of one of history's greatest leaders and how you too can conquer from within. First, born in 356 BC in Pella, Macedonia, Alexander's upbringing was anything but ordinary. His father, King Philip II, was a brilliant military strategist and empire builder, but his greatest contribution to Alexander's future wasn't his crown, it was his preparation. Alexander's mother, Olympias, was a devout believer in destiny. She told her son he was a descendant of Achilles. She filled his mind with myths of gods and warriors, telling him he wasn't just born to rule. He was born to redefine what a ruler could be. But it was Aristotle, one of the greatest minds in history, who shaped Alexander's intellect. Under his mentorship, Alexander studied literature, science, medicine, and philosophy. He wasn't taught what to think. He was taught how to think. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. This foundation taught Alexander that greatness wasn't just about conquest. It was about consciousness. To change the world, you must first master yourself. In today's world, many chase titles and influence without ever mastering their own mind. Alexander's story reminds us, mental clarity is the beginning of all greatness. When Alexander took the throne after his father's assassination, the Greek states rebelled. They saw a young king, untested and unproven. But Alexander didn't flinch. He crushed the revolts swiftly, then turned to the Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful civilization at the time. His first major battle was at the river Granicus. While others hesitated, Alexander charged, not from the rear, but from the front lines. His courage was physical, but it was born from mental discipline. Fear is natural, but mastery over fear, that's mindset, and Alexander had it. He spent countless hours studying his opponents, mastering terrain maps, and mentally rehearsing scenarios. He wasn't lucky, he was prepared. There is nothing impossible to him who will try. He didn't accept conventional limits, and he didn't wait for permission to lead. Modern application. If you want to lead in life, prepare when no one is watching. Think deeply, study fiercely, act boldly. Alexander believed discipline was the ultimate form of freedom. When he marched through deserts, he didn't drink water unless everyone could. When his soldiers suffered, he didn't sleep in luxury. His strength was in sacrifice. He once refused water offered to him during a grueling march across the Gedrosian desert. His men were dehydrated and desperate. When his generals brought him a helmet filled with precious water, Alexander looked at it and poured it onto the sand. If our king won't drink, how can we complain? That's leadership. That's mindset. He trained not just to win battles, but to win minds. You don't need a crown to act like a king. The habits you form in private define the respect you command in public. Conquering Persia wasn't enough. Alexander dreamed of uniting all of humanity, creating a world where Greeks and Persians, East and West, weren't enemies, but allies. Others mocked him, called him naive, but he held to his vision. He married a Persian woman, encouraged cultural integration, taught his men the languages of the people they conquered. He didn't just expand geography, he expanded thinking. This is the power of vision. Most leaders react. Alexander imagined, then acted. Ask yourself, are you living by reaction or by vision? True leadership means seeing a better future and building it step by step. The greatest war Alexander ever fought wasn't on the battlefield, it was within. He grieved deeply when his best friend, Hephaestion, died. He isolated himself. He punished his own body. At times he struggled with temper and pride. This wasn't weakness, it was humanity. But even in his lowest moments, Alexander never stopped moving. He journaled, he reflected, he marched forward. He didn't deny emotion, he learned to master it. That's what the Stoics called sophrosyne, self-control and harmony. It's what we call mental resilience today. In your lowest moment, when you want to quit, remember this: even the strongest feel weak. The difference is, they keep moving. Ute Alexander's story also offers a cautionary tale. As his empire grew, so did his pride. He began to believe he was more than human. He demanded divine honors. Paranoia grew. He executed once trusted generals. He clashed with lifelong allies. Here's the danger: ego blinds you to truth. Aristotle once said, "Pride makes us artificial. Humility makes us real." Alexander's early greatness was rooted in humility and discipline. His later years warn us: unchecked ego leads to collapse. Confidence is earned, ego is borrowed. Stay humble, stay grounded. Alexander died at just 32. But in 12 years, he changed the world, not just with his sword, but with his mind. He left behind cities, ideas, and legends. What will you leave behind? Your legacy won't be written in stone. It will be written in the habits you build, the discipline you show, the challenges you face and overcome. Your greatness doesn't start with success. It starts with the decision to lead yourself. You don't need to be born into power to command your destiny. You don't need an empire to lead with strength. You don't need a war to show courage. What you need is the discipline to rule your thoughts, the courage to pursue your vision, and the strength to act, especially when no one is watching. Before you conquer the world, conquer yourself. That's the mindset of Alexander the Great.